It's also possible to perform thread-safe file input-output. The Random Access class was first introduced in .NET 6, and it consists of a low-level API that allows you to read and write bytes. This API is purely offset-based, and in this way it's stateless, so we don't get a pointer to the current position in a file. This allows you to perform thread-safe reading and writing for a given file. The Random Access class contains a number of methods, each of which require a safe file handle. You can think of a safe file handle as a wrapper class for an operating system file handle. So for example, the Random Access class contains a getLength method, a read method, a read async method, a write method, and a write async method. So writing thread-safe file I/O code might not be something you need to do very often. I just wanted to mention it here so you were aware of it. Let's take a look at some quick code. First of all, we're creating an instance of a safe file handle. One way to do this is to call the static openHandle method on the file class. We can also create a safe file handle for the output file. Once again, using the static openHandle method on the file class, specifying filemode.create and fileaccess.write. We could get the length of the input file by calling the static getLength method on the Random Access class and passing in the file handle. And then we need to create a byte buffer that will be filled when we call the Random Access read methods. As before, we can try and find the largest byte, and then use a for loop to loop through all of the bytes on the input file and call the Random Access class's read method. This method will fill up the buffer, starting at a given file offset. To write bytes to a file, we call the Random Access class's write method, once again passing a file handle, the number of bytes to output, and the file offset to begin writing at. And as we've done previously, we can try and find the largest byte. When we want to output the largest byte to the end of the file, the first thing we need to do is create a buffer of bytes that are going to be written to the file, and then call the write method of the Random Access class, passing in this buffer and also the offset. In this case, the length of the input file will cause the largest byte to be added to the end of the file. We're not going to cover this in depth in this course because creating thread-safe file access code is not something you're probably going to need to do very often. If you want to learn more about this, check out the Microsoft documentation at this link here.